What it is, YouTube? Is your boy DC coming back with another bullseye of a video here today on the channel. We're gonna be looking over a tiers list of some of the best rap vocal plugins. It's gonna be a bunch of different things: EQ, a couple compressors, a couple reverbs, a couple saturators, delays. Okay, so if y'all like the video today, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. You want to support the channel? Well, check the links, and in the comments, let me know what you think. So let's get to it right now. Let's go over the tiers. The very first tier is going to be mix and master. That's the best tier. Then we're going to have rough mix, which is like, you know, things that are good enough for the rough demo. Then we got vocal template, plugins that are pretty much good for the vocal template. After that, we got debatable, right? Which is like plugins you don't really use like that and you on the brink of deleting them, okay? So I've got 24 plugins here. You know, I want to do another list. I'm probably going to have to do another list because there's way more plugins that y'all be using, but I don't want the video to be too long. So in the comments, let me know, you know, more plugins that I should do a tiers list video for, like that you think are the best rap vocal plugins. So let me know. All right, first thing for me, I ain't gonna count. I'm gonna have to throw that fresh air in the rough mix, maybe even mix and master. But I love using the fresh air plugin because first of all, it's free, so everybody can get to it, and it's great for vocals because when it comes to brightness, you know, as a beginner, you got to also learn too that there's a texture that's associated with brightness, kind of like how there's black sugar, not black sugar, but brown sugar and white sugars, you know, so those are like two different textures, like, you know, two different sizes of sugar cane and all that stuff like that. So yeah, when it comes to getting that modern current, you know, digital distortion type of you know, brightness, I like to use the fresh air. Sometimes, you know, if you want smooth brightness, you go with a mag EQ, you know, so that just shows you that there's different types of textures even when it comes to brightness. So yeah, the next plugin right here, for the debatable, I'm gonna throw in the Waves dser. When it comes to being some of the best rap plugins, I think the Waves dser is great for beginners. It's pretty simple and straightforward, but as you progress over time, you'll start to notice, like, man, like sometimes this dser can sound funky, you know, sometimes it's not preserving the vocal in the way it originally came before it hit the vocal chain, the assembly line of the vocal chain. So that's where you might find yourself in a situation wanting to use a better dser. So you have the options of Weiss dser. There's also Applesoft Split S, which is not a dser but a great deharsher. There's also plugins like Soothe. Oh damn, bro, I forgot to put Soothe on this, bro. Now I kind of feel stupid, low key. But yeah, if I had Soothe and Spiff, they would be at the mix and master part. That's why I already said I'm probably gonna have to make another video. RVOX, I'm gonna have to throw RVOX in the rough mix. When people say, "Oh, I can't afford the TubeTech plugin, what's a great alternative?" I always tell them RVOX because it has a great low mid density to it. So that's why I like that compressor, and it's just one knob, always making it great when you're trying to record quick. That's important too as a rapper. When you're tracking or you're mixing for somebody, hip hop music is quick. A lot of people are freestyling, so sometimes less buttons is the better option. CLA 76 has to go in the mix and master tier. I love the way it's gritty and distorted, and you got the parallel mix knob. Whenever I want my vocals to be up front or just add some more aggression to maybe like a weak vocal take, that's the plugin I go with. When it comes to the dser, Weiss dser, it has to go at the top. And like how I said it before, this is a mastering grade dser that preserves all of the stuff. I've been preaching Weiss dser for such a long time. It's such a long time, but the people who have listened to me preach on Sunday church of plugins and mixing, they know that, yeah, you know, there's definitely a difference between that Waves dser and the Weiss dser, and the sound of the phase crossover. It just sounds more pristine. That's all it's coming down to. A fresh car wash. Valhalla vintage reverb, it would be blasphemous. It would be a sin. It would be horrible to put it in any other tier but mix and master. The perfect rap reverb that's great for lead vocals and ad libs. Okay, H delay is great for the template. It's a workhorse, you know, delay, and I love it a lot. But sometimes I feel like, you know, when you come to a certain point, once you're done recording, you might want more from the delay in terms of tone, you know, like in terms of tone, texture, in terms of wackier things that you can do with it. And that's why, you know, Valhalla delay is that thing for me that it usually ends up on the mix and master replacing H delay. Okay, cool. Now the Avalon 737, doesn't matter if you use the UAD version or the Kazarok version, smooth, creamy, ice cream on a hot day, Sunday, coming through in the truck, right around the corner. You feel me? That's a great EQ, great preamp. And I love how it's a channel strip, you know, depending on which one you use. You got compression, EQ, preamp, and it's creamy. Not every song has to be creamy though, you know? And that's why, as an engineer, as a rapper, it's always your job to listen to the beat, listen to the tone of the beat, close your eyes, imagine what's the setting. You know, imagine it's a movie. Okay, what scene are you gonna put together in the movie as you're filming it, which is like the recording process and the vocal. All right, imagine this to be your camera. Your microphone's like your camera. You feel me? It's capturing the action like a movie with the camera. Okay, so that's why I put it in Avalon and Rough Mix, because not all the time every song is smooth and creamy. You know, there's a time and place, but it's not all the time. So that's why more of a versatile thing like the API 2500 collection, whether it's the API EQs, the API bus compressor, the API preamp, whatever it is, the vision strip, you know, I just love the modern tone of the API. And the wave stuff is good too, but the UAD is the best. And I just love how it's modern and clear and it's more versatile. Because nowadays you really want that nice, clean, water bottle, you feel me? H2O, squeaky clean pristineness, that digital tone. It's a digital tone. People say they don't like the digital tone, but you can't lie. Rappers like Yeet, who be clipping their vocals, you know, and that's why standard clip is going up there. Having a clipper plugin is great, not only for your master fader, but especially for vocals. Let me know if you guys do clip your vocals. Maybe you have the FL Studio clipper, maybe you have the gold clip. You know, I like using standard clip on vocals to just clip the vocals a little bit. It's just kind of like taking a little bit of Tabasco sauce and dumping it on my French fries. That's all it is. It's just more flavor, it's more texture, and that's why people, you know, love the sound of Yeet. That's why Yeet is a big rapper, you know. That's why XXXTentacion, he was a huge rapper, because he uses digital distortion to generate a texture that generates a feeling, a vibe, all right? So let me know what you guys think about the list so far. You know, is the list off? Maybe there's a plugin that, you feel me, that shouldn't be at the top, that doesn't deserve to be there. Let me know in the comments, all right? So next thing that we're gonna have right here, NLS bus, man, I'm throwing that in the debatable. Some people do use that on their vocals. Me personally, I don't really like NLS bus that much. It's cool, but I feel like what it does, and it does this for sure, is it kind of makes the vocal sound wobbly, because it kind of like, you know, introduces some noise and some non-linear stuff. And sometimes you just want your vocal to be nice, dead in center. You want it to be the concrete foundation of the house, which is like the whole mix. You feel me? So sometimes you want your vocal to be nice, concrete, dead in the center. And I feel like NLS bus kind of takes away from that. So that's why I hardly ever use it, because most people want their vocals in your face, in the center, like a conversation. You talking to somebody, you don't do it from the side. You don't have a conversation from the side like this. You look them straight in the eye and you talk to them directly. So that's why I feel like NLS bus messes with the positioning, which what it really does, and it kind of, that's why it's debatable. All right, Echo Boy is gonna have to go into Rough Mix. It's great. It could go in Mix and Master. It could go in Mix and Master, but I think Valhalla is better. So yeah, Echo Boy is great. It's been around for a long time. And it has some hidden features too. If you just click the edit mode, reverb, offsetting, all this dope stuff. And you know what? Actually, fuck it. I'll just put it in Mix and Master, because it's a delay that has features that the Valhalla delay doesn't. So there's a use case for having both of them, you know? So always evaluate your plugin. Sometimes you need 2 delays, sometimes you don't. You know, try to get rid of redundancies and you know, plugins that add something unique. You know, those are the ones that I keep. All right. So CLA Vocals, I think it's a great quick plugin for the vocal template. I often find myself changing it because I don't even use half of the plugin, which is the reverb, delay, and the doubler stuff. So I don't even use that because, you know, you don't get to adjust the length of the reverb and stuff. You don't really get to dial in the sound like you want. So it's kind of like trying to have a shoe, thinking that this shoe is going to fit everybody's foot when we know everybody's foot, which is their voice, is unique. So that's why I threw that thing in vocal template. All right. UAD Distressor is great. It's going in Rough Mix. I like how it's a very versatile compressor. You can even use it to clip vocals. You know what? Actually, because you can use it as a vocal clipper, I'm throwing that up in Mix and Master because that's a hidden thing that a lot of people don't do. Putting it on 1-to-1 and just driving the vocal with the input and waiting for that little orange light, that little orange, the VU, the 0 VU light to go off a little bit will clip the vocal. So now I got to put it in Mix and Master. It can create any sound, Fairchild, LA2A. And speaking of a LA2A, I'm definitely throwing it in Rough Mix. I think that LA2A's got to be in rough mix because nowadays a lot of people are rapping fast. They got little flows and they switching their flow up a lot. And sometimes an optical compressor is not responsive enough. It's like an old grandpa. It's just reflexes are a little bit slow. You don't really get to change the release that much. But a great plugin that does let you change that is the TubeTech CL1B with the variable attack and release. So that's why I always put that TubeTech CL1B in rough mix. I think it's still a very overrated plugin, but Drake uses it, so I got to put it on the list. Auto-tune is gonna go with the mix and master tier. You need auto-tune. If you go into a studio and you trying to record something and they don't have auto-tune, cancel the session, because in 2025, this is not the 1980s. You need that goddamn auto-tune, even if you're just using it on a normal setting, just to get your whole vocal performance to be tied up. You don't always gotta, be super melodic, but auto-tune is an essential tool, and that's why it's going to mix and master. Auto-tune has made people rich and saved lives, okay? Fat Filter Pro C is going in rough mix. I like that plugin as it has different modes for compression, a great compressor, but a lot of the times a stock compressor might be just as good, like the Pro Tools, the Logic Pro stock compressor might just get the job done, because that compressor right there is more known for transparency, right? And clear is clear. Having doubler plugins are great. I think though, I prefer the doubler out of the Valhalla delay, because those doublers have character, they have distortion, but still, Sound Toys, Little Micro shit. Little Micro Shift is still a great plugin and it's great for the template, but sometimes I change it out for the Valhalla. Okay, the Valhalla delay, that is. All right, then for the channel strips, it's always great having channel strips. I prefer the SSLE over the G, but still though, when you want to get those dirty rap vocals, the SSLG is a great tool as well. It ends up on the template and it establishes that vibe. J37, it's cool to have tape, but nowadays a lot of rap music is digital distortion, so you don't always need analog warmth, and that's why kind of like, the analog plugins kind of ended up a little bit more towards the bottom. Well, these ones specifically, like NLS Bus and stuff. Decapitator, that's going in rough mix. You don't always need saturation. You don't always need salt and pepper on a rotisserie chicken that already has it baked into it. You feel me? So yeah, that's why Decapitator will go in rough mix, because it's a great tool to spice things up, but sometimes you don't need all that extra distortion and spice, because maybe all of your other analog modeled plugins are giving that to you in your chain, like the CLA76 pop vocal preset on that C4 has to go to the top. I've done 1,000 videos. There's nothing to say about it. That plugin has ended up on a lot of videos, and it's just a great multiband that has a great phase distortion sound baked into it. So that's why even if you use a Fab Filter Pro MB, you still can't get that phase distortion sound like the C4. And over time, as you make music and you mix, you will start to learn these little nuances of these plugins, like your friends. Your friends have a certain birthmark or a scar or these little nuances on their face and their body physically that distinguishes them from everybody, So I just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Down below, support the channel. Check the links in the comments. Let me know what you think about the list. What do you think? Maybe some plugins should have been on or off. Let me know down below, and I'm going to have actually plans of doing an updated list. So I'll see you guys then. Peace.